guys, my name is Hero, or some as you know me, Caitlin. And today I've got kind of like a part 2 to an other video that I had that was pretty successful. A lot of you guys really liked it, and it was actually the I hate customer service video. And I feel like so many of you liked it because so many of you can relate to it. And I've just had a really bad week, and I promised you guys that I was going to tell retail stories. Well, boy, do I have some stories for you. So in my last video, I really didn't tell any stories. I just listed off like a bunch of general stuff that tends to happen whenever you work in customer service. And I gave you a list, and then I asked for you some of your guys' stories, and a lot of you guys actually gave me stories, and I read all of them, and it's like, I'm so happy that I'm not alone in this. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with like 2 stories right now because they both happened in the same week. Like, I got 2 customer complaints within a week. Okay, I've been working at this place for almost 3 years now, and I've had like a couple complaints, but they've been pretty spread out, like really spread out. This is the first time I've ever had it to where it's like 2 of them back to back within the first week, and they're both really stupid. Like, you guys aren't gonna believe it when I tell you the first one. And before I get too into it, I know I've said this was like a revenge gameplay. I was just upset that guy freaking domed me with a one-shot at the very beginning, but it's okay. We got revenge in this gameplay, which is why I'm using it. It was like a really annoying style game, and just like last time, I picked a really annoying gameplay to go with a really annoying topic, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. This is a really annoying gameplay to go with a really annoying topic. So, first story. So, about a week ago, I work in a deli, okay? So, as you guys know, in the deli, you generally have like those doors that are behind the deli counter, and those doors lead to the actual back part of like the bakery and like the sinks and all that. Well, I was 5 hours into my shift, and I was waiting for my lunch break. And on top of that, I was the mid shift, so all the morning people had already left at that point, and I was waiting for the afternoon people to get in, so that way I could actually go take my lunch break. So like I said, I was like 5 hours into my shift at this point. It's 5 minutes before everyone else gets there. I know I'm the only one there, but I have all my chores for the morning done. So I'm kind of standing in the doorway to the back room because I'm like folding up some boxes so that way I can take the boxes to the back room and get rid of them later, but I had to like break them down at that point. And this lady, she's a regular, she comes up to the counter, and I see her, okay, because I'm standing in the doorway. I do my usual customer service stuff, like thank you for shopping, like have a nice day whenever it's all said and done. Well, this lady goes to the front, okay? She goes to the front and complains that I didn't smile at her while I served her. Yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with service. I just didn't smile at her, so she was upset with me. So that just made my night. Second story is much worse. Like, this chick threw a huge fit in my store, okay? A huge fit. This happened just 2 days ago, like Saturday, so I'm still really mad about it. So this chick comes in, and she looks really upset, but I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm gonna go do my job. So I said, hello ma'am, how may I help you? And she goes, I want half a pound of Colby Jack cheese. And I was like, right away ma'am. So I go over and I start slicing the cheese. I get about like 2 slices in, and this woman's like, aren't you going to show me how you're cutting it? And I was like, oh, sorry about that, ma'am. And then I held up a piece of cheese, and I was like, I'm slicing it at a number 1, which is our normal sandwich slice. Because if a customer doesn't specify how they want it cut, then we just cut it like a normal sandwich slice. That's just like our go-to thing. So after holding it up, she just immediately goes, I can't see it. So I go, oh, I'm sorry about that, ma'am. So I had to go like right up into her face with this like cheese and show it to her again. She's like, that's how I wanted it cut. And I was like, okay, so I understand, ma'am. And so I went back to my slicer, and I finished slicing the meat. And then I stick the freaking cheese on the counter, and I thank her. Like, that's always what you do. And then I go about my day. I think that's that. Like, I didn't think anything went wrong with the exchange. Well, the next thing you know, the front of the store is calling for my manager. And I have to explain to you that even though we're inside of a store, we're not actually part of that store. So you can't really complain to those people when those people aren't my bosses. Like, it's kind of like when you go to Walmart and there's a Subway inside the Walmart. That's what we are. We're like a separate business from the business that we're inside. So she's asking for my manager, but my manager is not there. So she's still like throwing a fit. And at the time, I didn't even know she was asking for my manager, okay? So they get the actual store manager, who once again is not my boss, to come up and deal with the situation. So she goes up to the front and she's talking to her. Well, this woman is throwing such a huge fit up front that eventually the store manager has no choice but to call my manager, who actually is in charge of me, when she's at home off work. Okay, she's at home and this customer is not going to rest until she speaks to my manager. So they go in, they call my manager while she's at home, and she starts complaining to my manager. You want to know what her complaint was? Her complaint was that I didn't show her how I sliced the cheese. That's right, this woman was throwing an absolute bitch fit at the start of the freaking store because I didn't show her how I sliced the cheese before I started slicing it. Like, have you ever had such a bad day that you had to go do that? And then like the funny part was, she admitted on the phone that I cut the cheese exactly how she wanted it cut. Like, if I cut something exactly how you wanted it, like, why are you gonna go and complain to my manager about not showing you how I cut it like the first time? And then another thing that got me really, really mad, okay, is she lied. She lied when she said, she told my manager, okay, whenever I held up the cheese the first time, I held it up from my usual distance because the slicers are like usually like right there behind the counter, and most people can see that. And even if you couldn't, I have no problem like taking it up to the counter. But she lied when she said that the first time I held up the cheese to her, she said to me, like she said this to me, that I hope your ass can see better than me because who in the world can see that from here? Like, why are you gonna lie about trying to be a hard ass? Because if you would have said that to me over the counter while I was working, I kind of have a bit of a mouth problem, and I definitely would not have stood for that. Like, if you're gonna sit there and insult me for doing basically nothing, like, I'm not gonna sit there and take it, okay? I'm not gonna do it. I would have said something to the lady. But the fact that she had said that to my manager, that's what she told me over the phone, is really annoying, and I just cannot believe this lady. Like, not only are you like throwing a fit over something so stupid, but you're like lying about it too. And I guess it doesn't matter too much, but I wasn't in trouble at all. Like, my manager didn't care. My manager thought it was stupid when I got a complaint for not smiling, and she definitely thought it was stupid because apparently she's had to deal with this same lady before, and this lady is just a freaking bitch every time she comes through the store. And as it was explained to me, like, her and her husband like don't even live together. Like, her husband lives here where I live, and then she lives in Maine. Well, her dang husband was like put into the hospital, so she had to come down and deal with all that sort of stuff. And even though she didn't like him, she had to come do it. Like, don't take out your marital fights out on me, okay? Why take it out on the freaking person trying to help you at a deli? Anyway, that's all for today's video. If you liked the story, please click the like button below. If you're new to my channel, please click the subscribe button below. It helps me out a lot. If you guys have any more retail stories, please tell me in the comment section below. I'll definitely watch all of them. And once again, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.